With Big Swole calling out AEW and Tony Khan's response bringing about controversy, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for January 1st. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. With him set to challenge Roman Reigns for the Universal title tonight at Day 1, Brock Lesnar has gone through a big change in not only his appearance, but his persona on screen. Given he is now a babyface, Drew McIntyre told Sportskeeda that Brock probably wanted to hide this side of himself from the world. You're getting it now. And it has all been a part of the Brock Lesnar journey and the Lesnar character arc that you knew he had this all along. And he has shown that serious side. People loved it at times, and also loathed it. And now they are getting a chance to see a little bit that Brock did not want to be revealed. That he can be a nice guy, he can be a funny guy. He kept that hidden as part of his presentation. For years he had no desire for the world to know that, but now he is letting them in a little bit about how he is actually like. He is genuinely terrifying and a badass, but he can also be, a good guy and highly entertaining. You get a character like Sammy and you put him with Brock. It is simply great television. Speaking of the upcoming pay-per-view, Seth Rollins is still being advertised for the Fatal 4-Way WWE title match despite him revealing he tested positive for COVID. As reported previously, WWE pulled stars like Big E, Roman Reigns, and Becky Lynch from their recent holiday live event tour to ensure the pay-per-view goes off without a hitch. When it comes to making changes to this event, Ringside News would note that WWE Day 1 pay-per-view is on Saturday, and they're still under a bit of an issue with COVID quarantine. We were unable to verify if anyone is still positive who was pulled from the road, but we did as when WWE will change any match if they need to. We were told, quote-unquote, Saturday. With Toni Storm quitting WWE recently, it's still not known if she will have a non-compete clause or if she does, how long it will last. Speaking about her leaving the company, Dutch Mantel noted on Smack Talk that she will probably join AEW. I am genuinely happy for Toni Storm. She said, I don't want to do it because I don't want to stress myself out. But you gotta think one thing, Tony Khan is there in Jacksonville. If she had a conversation with him, which is against rules, being in contract with one company and you're talking to another company, that is a breach of contract. But I think she may have had other plans. I'm happy for her if she's happier being home. More power to her. But I don't think she's throwing her wrestling career away. I think she has plans on going to AEW eventually. I think they can only take so many. How much money is he gonna shell out for people to sit at home? Following Sammy Guevara revealing he broke up with his fiancée, many fans assumed this was due to him dating Tay Conti. This would cause Conti to leave Twitter temporarily, as Sammy has now confirmed the two were together for a New Year's post on Instagram. In November, Big Swole announced that she and AEW mutually parted ways, and during the call-in show, she explained the reason for her leaving the promotion. My heart just stopped being in it as the reason why I left AEW. I felt like there were a lot of things, and I told them in my exit interview, there are a lot of things that need to change. I know fans of the company don't take criticism well sometimes, certain ones. Know this is somebody from the inside. The structure is a little off. It's fine to be loose, but I like to have a little bit more structure. I feel like the women shouldn't have gone through everything they went through just to get on TV or get time. You're signed to this big company. You should get time. All these men are getting time, but the women weren't getting anything. And you're not putting people on TV because more people are coming in, okay? There are more people coming in, but you don't have enough product for all these people. Now you have all these people sitting around having 2 or 3 minute matches on Dark doesn't keep me happy. Shoveling more money doesn't keep a person happy. We've seen time and time again, especially in a place where there's not enough space. There's no writers in a sense. Not everyone is comfortable writing their own things. Closed mouths don't get fed. That's exactly what that environment is. If you are shy and don't know how to write or are not creative, it's not going to work unless they want it to work for you. That's one of their biggest issues. Outside of lack of structure, their biggest issue, which is diversity. I do not beat around the bush when it comes to diversity of my people. There is no representation truly. When there is, it does not come across in the black community as genuine at all. I don't know why everybody is so afraid to accept it or say it, but it's not a good look. What happens is, you have this wonderful company that treats people like family, but there is nobody that looks like me that is represented at the top and in the room with them. They're not helping to necessarily influence decisions, but to explain why certain slang and certain word shouldn't be said. There is no one else who can explain our culture and experience except for us. I knew something was up when my daughter, who loves watching wrestling, she would watch AEW all the time and seldomly watch WWE. She's not a big fan unless Dad, Cedric Alexander, was on TV, which stopped happening after they botched the Hurt Business. She would say, "Mommy, there is nobody that looks like me on AEW. There's nobody that looks like Daddy." Then she started watching WWE because she saw Bianca and Big E. She saw herself represented. If that wasn't a click, you are absolutely right. I don't have an explanation. It's 2021. Why are people saying it'll take 3 years for AEW to have a black champ? This is a scripted sport. It should not take that long if you have been watching WWE for 50 plus years and you know what not to do. I believe that the company is making better strides than before, but a couple things need to be fixed. You have to be able to call people out because not everything is perfect. I hope they listen to this with an open heart and not just, she's just saying this because of XYZ. I genuinely want them to succeed. I love this art form. I love wrestling and I want it to succeed. And I want the people in it to succeed if they are genuine people. I want WWE to succeed. I want wrestling to flourish, and I don't want it to be a long forgotten tertiary sport where in the old days we used to wrestle and it's folklore. I want nothing but the best, but I also want the change in application to happen. With promises you made to be diverse, I want to see that, not just with black people. I would like to see a Latino or Hispanic or more Asian. I feel like Asians and Indians do not get the love, they just don't. It's such a big gap. I hate the fact that I turn on the TV and it's the same stuff over and over again. Hopefully they get the message. Me leaving, honestly, was not bad. There is no bad blood between TK and I just don't like my peace being disrupted. I like certain things and other things that I will take to my grave. The diversity, that's what matters. Following this interview being posted by Fightful, AEW President Tony Khan would reply, writing, "My top 2 AEW execs are Brown, Mia Mega, Jade, Bowens, Caster, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, and Mark Quinn all won on TV this month. The TBS title tournament has been very diverse. I let Swole's contract expire as I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. AEW Rampage Street Fight tonight. This will lead to many fans and those in wrestling reacting to this response as AEW star Lio Rush wrote, "I'm not cool with any of this to be honest. If nobody says something then I will, because this is messed up and now I'm pissed." Rush would even demand that Khan apologize. Sean Dean would react to this writing, "Sean Dean, AEW Extras Coordinator, my official title in AEW behind the scenes, a black male in the office, giving as many opportunities to minority talents as I can every single week. On the community team, raising awareness for inner city kids any chance I get. The things we are expecting can and will happen. Trust the process." A user would reply to Dean, "The process of a talented wrestler and veteran like yourself having how many wins and how many losses again? How many action figures do you have, Captain? How many singles matches wins do you have on TV, Captain? This is clown shoes. You don't have to go down with the Titanic, brother." Dean would write back, "Bro, it's not me doing any clown shoes. No dancing, none of that. I'm part of the diversity. That's all I'm saying. Swole feels how she feels, more power to her. I'll never take away her feelings. This is me showing that I'm a part of the diversity and working to help it." Executive for the company Raphael Morphy would write, "Disappointed in the diversity in AEW story from earlier today. I am 100% Latino. AEW and Tony Khan value and offer me autonomy as a company executive to make very big decisions on AEW's behalf. I've been blessed to work with multiple organizations. Trust me in my defense of AEW." AEW star Powerhouse Hobbs would write, "I've been featured in some heavy spots since being signed to AEW as well as other minorities. Now Tony Khan has put me in spots at the right time that meant something. Punk, Christian Cage, Brian Cage, and Hangman, and especially running in and saving Mox. This company has been there since the passing of my mother. Cody and QT play a tremendous part in getting me signed. Lastly, if you have an issue with someone, pick up the phone." Tay Conti would also defend the company, writing, "As y'all know, I'm Latina and I know these struggles. I have an accent and cutting promo on national TV is not something that you see normally, but AEW and Tony Khan makes me feel comfortable and not ashamed doing it. Ty J versus Bunny and Penelope start almost a year ago and it ends tonight. Watch us." Following this tweet, a fan would post old tweets from Conti and accuse her of being being racist. More fans would react to Tony Khan's response, as one user noted AEW's diversity is put non-white people on TV or give them a belt, but they're never featured as prominently or shown to be as strong. And what the hell is Jay Lethal doing? Meanwhile, Kyle O'Reilly is immediately in a main event story on his debut. Another said, "My man Tony Khan was able to name all the black people who won on TV this month in a single tweet, while still having enough room in said tweet to shade Big Swole's wrestling and promote Rampage. And this was supposed to prove that they're good at diversity?" One fan responded to Khan writing, "Absolutely not. This is completely disrespectful, not only to Swole, but to the black community that AEW has consistently not listened to. I wanted to be a part of the change AEW so desperately needs, but you're showing that you're willingly missing the point." Another would tweet, "Swole said AEW fans don't like to take criticism, and they only proved her point." One user even said, "Swole, I just feel AEW has places they need to work. Tony Khan snorting a rail of Adderall, you can't wrestle. Rampage tonight." With all this controversy, Jade Cargill would end up trending as well, with some fans thinking this could lead to big things for her, as one user noted, "Mark my words, 100% Jade Cargill is winning the TBS Women's title. Damage Control will be in full effect now." Another said, "I'm calling all the reactions for Jade Cargill versus Ruby Soho next week on TBS. Cargill wins, she's not ready to be champion, she's mid. Ruby Soho is buried. Soho wins, another ex-WWE getting pushed. AEW is racist against black people, Jade is buried." One fan pointed out that when it comes to Swole, she said changes had to be made. No one disputes that, as Tony Khan has always given the people what they want. She spoke on lack of diversity. Nyla Rose was women's champ and happens to be trans. Scorpio Sky was the first black tag champ. Jade Cargill is about to become TBS champ. Another fan noted that in the last year alone, we've had Riho, Scorpio Sky, Nyla Rose, Sammy Guevara, Hikaru Shida, etc. all as champions. They're building up Jade Cargill as the first TBS champion. People are blowing this up into stupid proportions, and I'm sick of it. Following a release from WWE, Nia Jax took part in a Q&A on Instagram as a fan asked about her plans after wrestling. Nia said, "Starting a business, growing some cool things on my farm." When asked if the WWE reality show Total Divas is scripted, Jax replied that it was 98% scripted. Jax was also asked about starting an OnlyFans, with her responding with some eyeballs, and a shrugging emoji. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.